We are recording.
Thank you, Larry. I would like to say one or ask a question of everyone that's in the room at this point. If you please join the session, send me your contact information over the message board. It's kind of our company policy to try and get as much of the participants on a contact list. Nothing more than just to show that there are participating people participating in these conferences, and that kind of allows us to participate in these events. So thank you for that. So yes, in this time of COVID, well, I think we're all getting familiar with these type of virtual events. Some of us are more familiar with them than others. Like myself, I'm sort of new still to it. So thanks again for joining. We are, you know, trying to put as much information out there as we can for Zetron. We are a 40-year-old company. Those may or may not know. We've been in California and throughout the United States and over 3 different countries with our solutions. We provide emergency dispatch solutions. So today, what we're talking about, and I'll get into the presentation, is how Zetron is attacking this sort of COVID situation and how we can provide our solutions reliability um, over a remote sort of console solution or dispatch solution. So today, what I'm going to highlight is our Command IQ product, which is a small form factor desk set. It's an IP-based desk set, which can allow command and control of either a radio dispatch system or a fire, sorry, an FSA solution. Along with that, we're going to highlight our reach solution. And what that does is give that remote accessibility to your employees or your dispatchers that cannot be available into the dispatch center, and give the concept of a more of a remote solution, which is highly configurable and highly private as far as the network infrastructure and how the components work together. I'm also going to touch on our Max Dispatch software, which runs on our Command IQ. That's kind of our standard, our main development tool is our Max Dispatch software and the components that go along with that. Toward the end of the presentation, I'm going to get into some sample applications of the Command IQ with Max Dispatch, as far as being in a remote location or a mobile command center type environment. So what you see on the screen right now is the Command IQ. That's the small form factor desktop solution that we are currently selling today. It's available right now. It's in its second phase of development. We are developing to a newer processor, which will add more expandability and a lot of more functionality with it, just to ease the dispatcher as far as what they can and can't do from a small form factor sort of console. So with the Command IQ, you see there is a small handset, which is a PTT handset, which allows you to access your radio infrastructure. You've got capabilities of transmitting and receiving information over the handset. On the screen there, you see the PTT, which we're all familiar with. That's a touchscreen display, which gives you access to all your key features and functionalities within the console screen itself. There is a dedicated input microphone and speaker within the unit, which allows the dispatcher to not have to pick up the handset there and just communicate over those two internal components with the unit. Similar to our Max Dispatch standard desktop solutions, the screens are completely configurable to your workflow, meaning what you see on the screen there is sort of a busy screen, but we have the ability to create an environment where it fits the end user or the end user's workflow. That's a big thing for Zetron, as far as, we want to make the end user experience very easy and simplistic in a way that it doesn't really require a lot of steps and a lot of different pages to get the job done. We're all, dispatchers are in a very, they're critical workers. They're very under a lot of stress at all times, and Zetron's main development is based around that environment for the end user. Okay, again, self-sustained sort of desk set. It's no bigger than your standard laptop, 15-inch laptop. It can be wall mounted as well. You've got controls for your select and your monitor speaker, select or unselect. What you see on the screen again, I don't know if you're all able to see that, but you see the green highlight around the single channel here, which indicates that that's your selected channel. The screen itself is 15 inches by 10 inches, again, touchscreen display. You have the PTT handset again. It's not something that's has to be used at the same or at a time. I'll get into some accessories that you can get, purchase for the Command IQ. They're optional accessories. This is kind of the right out of the box components here. Again, you've got the primary or your selected and your monitor speaker. Internal microphone is right there on the bottom where you see the little cutouts on the display. This is not an iPad in a box. This is a standard PC with a touchscreen monitor inside the enclosure. So there's some components inside that box there. The back display shows the expandability of the unit. You've got the 3 USB jacks there, which can be used for a keyboard and a mouse. They're not required for the operation of the unit, but they can be used in an environment where the workflow requires that sort of operation. Maybe there's you've got some sort of multi-layered desktop where the user has a few displays and they've got sort of a KVM sort of sharing keyboard and mouse. That can also be used with this Command IQ as well. You've got the dual network switches, which are kind of standard with our Max Dispatch deployments, where you've got the 2 dedicated network switches. You've got the optional foot switch there, which most dispatchers are used to using when they are dispatching over the radio. They've got their 911 phone set on and they want to key up the radio. They've got the option to use the foot switch on this unit as well. Along with that, you've got the power supply. There is the option of adding the Zetron standard desktop microphone, which is very user specific. We've got a lot of dispatchers. Anybody who's dispatched has used a desktop microphone in the past. So the idea there is you still have a lot of the regular functionality of a standard desktop environment with that desktop microphone. Along with that, you've also got the ability to add the headset jack box, whether it's a just for the radio. You do have the option to bring in the Pure HI, the telephone radio headset interface with your phone system as well. So there is that capability as well. So the difference with the Command IQ as far as a touchscreen environment, typically you have our standard radio channels. You see Seattle Police 1, Seattle Police 2. In a touchscreen environment, what we give the user is the ability to expand those tiles. So in the previous slides, you saw a very busy sort of desktop. What you have with the touchscreen environment is the ability to use our what we call a swipe function. And what the swipe functionality gives you is it blows up that radio channel and it gives you these specific functions within that tile. You've got the standard up and down with the volume on that channel. You've got the mute on that channel, and you've also got the ability to do a pre-dedicated boost on that channel. And again, all the regular controls available, whether it be a patch, you've got your individual channel history, which you see with the clock there. What that does is it punches out every bit of activity that's gone through that channel, whether it be a transmission, an emergency, or received audio. Okay, so a little bit more about our Reach product. And basically what this gives you is a dedicated VPN appliance to access your core of whether you've got our max dispatch, you've got our max call taking, or you're considering those solutions, as well as our FSA solution. You've got a dedicated secure VPN tunnel to the dispatch center or the call center where the core resides, and then whether or not your dispatchers are remote in an at-home environment or maybe a dedicated off-site facility. So what you've got there is again, you've got the ability to have in this COVID environment a secure tunnel to create an environment where your dispatchers still have capability of doing their jobs in a sort of a remote environment. Each one of these appliances can support up to 8 remote consoles. You've got all functionality from the remote, whether it's Command IQ, a standard desktop, or a laptop solution. You've got all the regular functionality and all the resources that are available at the dispatch center in a remote environment. The VPN client offers a firewall, offers dedicated authentication. We can also have those appliances encrypted. So there's we put a lot of effort into securing our VPN appliance and the tunnel that comes with that. Are any questions up until this point? Please feel free. Nope. Okay. 3 main components to our Command IQ. You've got the dedicated IP network. We've got our Max Central, which is the main component with any deployment with either it's a Command IQ or a Max Dispatch solution. The key there is the radio dispatch functionality of these units themselves. The Max Central acts as the central server for all the endpoints within the system, whether it be a radio or a dispatch console. You could add standard telephony, whether it be SIP or POTS gateways. We've got that. So it acts as the arbitrator of the system. Over on the right there, you see our radio gateways, which serve as the interface to the radio infrastructure, whether it be 4-wire solution, wireline solutions, or wireless technologies as well. We typically have a dedicated radio gateway for those sort of infrastructures. And then again, you've got your Command IQ, which is the sort of workhorse of the whole solution itself, talking to the backroom equipment, meaning the Max Central or the radio gateways. So just sort of a sample concept for a mobile command center. You could have whether you're in an environment where you just need something simple on a wall in a fire truck or a mobile command center. It's a small form factor with our Command IQ, which accesses all your radio infrastructure via our network switches and our media control servers. Each one of our gateways has the ability to access 2 radio resources. And within those radio resources, you have all the functionality of any, again, standard desktop console. So in California, we've all been a part of the fires that have been ongoing. This is sort of a concept solution for a type of environment where we've got fire units out on site, and we've got to have some key infrastructure there with the radio components. We can support all those radio components and that mobile solution. Another type of sample of what we can do with the Command IQ and our Reach solution is have the ability to basically just put an entire system into a small case, such as the one you see on your screen, which is about a 6U case, and act as a portable command kit. You've got your radios there, which are wireless to the radio infrastructure. You've got your Max Central, which is the arbitrator of all the system, and your radio gateways. Depending on the need, we can support up to as many gateways are necessary. Within our Max Dispatch solution, which the Command IQ runs on, is we've got the ability to support 255 endpoints. An endpoint can be a desktop console, or it can be a radio gateway. So the flexibility is there within our Command IQ and our Reach solution. Here's how you get a hold of us. I'm Sean Toledo. Brian Brady is a new gentleman that we've just hired to help support California, and all of you know Craig Bassett. Maybe you don't. I think a lot of people do. We're all available to you. That concludes the presentation on the Command IQ with our Reach solution. Again, I want to emphasize the COVID environment that we're all living in with Zoom meetings and team meetings has not really hindered our performance with our solutions, whether it's radio dispatch, CAD, mapping, or call taking. We are available and we can support this sort of strange environment that we're all in right now. So with that, Larry, I'm complete. I would open it up for questions. I think I ran over a little bit on my time. I apologize. Late.
That's all right, because you started late, and we have nobody in the room right now, so we can talk, and you can handle as many questions as you want.
Go right ahead.
All day long, I've had groups that didn't have much to say.
Well, I'm not really surprised. It's the environment we're living in right now.
Yeah.
And I could tell you, it's not the same all over the country. I did a similar presentation for Tennessee, Nina. So, it's different all over the country right now.
All right. I'm going to stop your video.